Hi friends, this is Mainak Misra and welcome back to my channel. Today I will discuss with you Ari Folman's Waltz with Bashir. Ari Folman's Waltz with Bashir is one of the most important and heartbreaking films ever. Through this film, he brings back the horrendous memories of the Sabra and Shatila massacre. This happened during 1982 Lebanon war. However, Folman chose animation mode over live action that granted him more freedom and flexibility. When his friend Boaz tells him about his recurring nightmares of 26 dogs whom he killed during the 1982 Lebanon war, he was little upset. Now he can't remember anything about that war, even though he himself participated in it. Folman starts recreating his memories by meeting eyewitnesses, and that's how this film was born. Boaz still remembers each of 26 dogs whom he killed, every little face, every wounded look in their eyes, and every cry of pain. And Folman remembers one recurring memory, a very famous scene, when the naked IDF soldiers come out of the sea and the Beirut skyline is illuminated by flares fired by the Israeli army, IDF, Israeli Defense Forces. This is not a political film, but Folman shows how Christian phalangists carried out this infamous massacre by killing more than 3,000 innocent Palestinians amid full awareness and support, indirect support, protection of Israeli forces in the name of terrorist elimination. But Folman claims that this is not a political film. He just wants to establish the true facts and he wants to come to the terms with life. He was stationed there just a few hundred yards from the massacre site, but he was not aware of anything. So his conscience still haunts him and he just wants to establish the facts. He wants to come to the terms with life. And that's how this film was made, Waltz with Bashir. The Christian phalangists avenged the death of then President-elect of Lebanon, Bashir Gemayel, who was murdered just before taking the presidency. And that didn't go well. They were shocked. The phalangists deemed him as a hero, a king to be crowned. So they felt like this is a family honor, which fueled this Sabra and Shatila massacre. They killed more than 3,000 innocent Palestinians. They lined up elderly persons, women, children, and killed them at point blank range. Their chests were carved with crucifixes. The phalangists even stored different body parts of Palestinians like eyeballs, fingers, and they stored in formaldehyde. Heartbreaking cries of Palestinian women made the air heavy. Even we can see the dead body of a little girl from the rubble, and the girl had curly hair. Heartbreaking scene. The Israeli forces were stationed there in concentric circles. They knew everything, but they did not do anything. They in turn helped them indirectly by firing flares throughout the night of 16 September 1982. And the alleys were full of dead bodies, up to the chest of a young man. Heartbreaking incident that shook the world. Even Defense Minister of Israel Ariel Sharon was very much aware of it. Many believe he himself charted out the plan only 2 months back. When journalist Ron Ben Ishai asked him whether he knew anything about the massacre, he replied, "Did you see it?" And then he wished him Happy New Year and went to sleep. So they knew everything, commanders, defense minister, but they didn't do anything to stop this massacre. But the question remains the same. Does Ari Folman play an apologist on behalf of Israel? He claims this is not a political film. This is a deeply personal film. Had it been political film, he would have interviewed the other sides, the phalangists or the Palestinians. But he only interviewed the Israeli side. So this is not a political film. That's what he claims. However, his conscience still haunts him. This film is also about dreams and nightmares. Folman keeps hallucinating about a scene when the Israeli soldiers, the naked Israeli soldiers, come out of the sea when the skyline of Beirut is illuminated by continuous flares fired by Israeli army. They indirectly helped the Christian phalangists to carry out this massacre. This is a very heartbreaking incident. But this is true. Even post-trauma pain expert Zohava Solomon described one photographer who initially was not concerned much as he viewed everything through camera. But when his camera broke, he saw everything in his own eyes. He freaked out. In the same way, Ari Folman, who just broke off with his girlfriend Ellie only a week back, wanted to make her feel guilty because of the breakup for his fictitious death. But when he joined the army, he saw in his own eyes that a war is never fiction. It is a hardcore reality. And Folman chose animation over live action for freedom, creative freedom and flexibility. Out of 9 interviews Seven were real and he used actors for two interviews. Initially, he shot as the entire film in live action mode, and that was turned into animation using classic animation, flash animation, and 3D technologies at 4,000 frames per second. But again, that gave him creative freedom and flexibility. The title Waltz with Bashir. How it came. It is inspired by a scene when Shmuel Frankel, a fellow Israeli soldier, forcibly takes another soldier's machine gun and starts shooting all around rhythmically as if he is dancing with a waltz. And then President-elect of Lebanon, Bashir Gemayel's photo is seen in the background, and Chopin's waltz in C-sharp minor is heard in the background. That's a waltz with Bashir. However, it has a larger context. The film hints at the political brinkmanship between Israel and then President-elect of Lebanon, Bashir Gemayel. So it has a more deeper meaning. As I mentioned earlier, the Phalangists deemed Bashir as a hero, a king to be crowned, but unfortunately he was murdered before the presidentship. So that incident shook them. They avenged his death that fueled this massacre, which killed more than 3,000 innocent Palestinians in the name of terrorist elimination. And the Israeli government was forced to set up Kahan Commission, which held Ariel Sharon accountable indirectly, and he was thrown out from Defense Ministry. Another important aspect of the film is Max Richter's powerful, provocative, haunting, and ominous music. He uses the classical music pieces of Chopin and Schubert as well as few songs, and his music influences the film from the start and leaves a long-lasting impact on the minds of the viewers. However, Ari Folman shows that wars are useless. He gives this message to the entire world that wars are useless. Many filmmakers make the films by depicting heroic characters, but those look romantic only on the screen. Especially young audiences feel otherwise, but Folman clearly shows that there is no romance, no magic behind wars, only tragedy, only bloodbath, only massacre, and that should be condemned and avoided. And he feels guilty that he couldn't do anything, even though he was stationed only a few hundred yards away from the massacre site. And he indirectly helped as part of IDF by firing flares. He comes to the terms with life through making this film, and he wants to establish the facts. No political agenda, but true facts, true portrayal of humanity. Thank you so much for watching this film, and for watching this video, and my request was again this: please watch this film if you have not watched, and please support my channel, press the bell icon, subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon so that you don't miss regular updates. And thank you so much for watching this video, and if possible please watch this film if you have not seen this till now. Thank you so much.